All right, my friends, it's time for the fifth and final card. So you should only have left in your packet the following. You should have 2 envelopes that have a 1/2 inch by 5.5 inch strip and 3 of these little tiny dots in there. You should have a 1/2 sheet of navy, a 1/2 sheet of olive, a 1/2 sheet of white, and a full sheet of white. So let's get to it. I'll turn the camera around and let you know how you're going to go about making this project. Okay, when it comes to this fifth and final project, okay, we are going to be coloring using our blender pen this time, and we're going to be using the following ink colors. We're going to be using Old Olive, Daffodil Delight, Peach Pie, and Pumpkin Pie. Hopefully I have not made you hungry. And we're going to stamp our background image in the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So I showed you earlier what the pieces were. On your instructions, you're looking at card 5, Citrus Blooms, and we're going to score the white paper at 4 1/4 inches and then cut at 5.5 so that we have a nice card base. Okay, the 1/2 sheet of green, we are cutting at 2 pieces, 4 by 5 1/4, and we are embossing them with the Timber 3D folder so that you get that nice wood grain image. Okay, and that is going to be going flat on the card, and we can go ahead and we could put that on, but I'm going to move some stuff out of the way first. Again, we're going to be using the Citrus Bloom stamp set, specifically the 3 oranges that are pictured here. From the 1/2 sheet of navy, you're going to cut 2 of these rectangles, 1 for each of the cards. And from the 1/2 sheet of white, you're going to cut 2 of the rectangles like this. Okay? And these are from the Deckled Rectangle collection. So I'm going to get all of these pieces out of the way, and I'm going to show you how we're going to go about doing this. So what I'm going to do to get some of my pieces out of the way, you also have your envelope with your strip of Citrus Blooms designer paper. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue down that 1/4 sheet of Old Olive that we cut and embossed already. Okay, I'm going to take my piece of designer paper, and I'm using the navy blue side facing up, and that's going to go about halfway across the front of the card so that it goes edge to edge like this. Okay, then I am going to adhere down. I don't think I used dimensionals, or did I? Yes, I did use dimensionals. On the back of the navy, I'm going to use dimensionals to adhere that to the front of my card. I was supposed to get my nails done today and wasn't able to, so they are a mess right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put down this navy blue layer so that I have all of the pieces that I'm not using out of the way. Okay, so everybody should be here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually work with our white rectangle, and here is what we are going to do. Okay, using our Memento Tuxedo Black ink, we're going to ink up the image that has the 3 oranges. We want to ink it really well. Make sure, I think I have a wheat ink pad, but that's okay. Here we go. All right, and we're going to stamp that as best we can in the center, and if it goes off, that's okay. So I'm going to press down really hard, and voila, there we go. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ink pads. I'm going to open them. This one is the Old Olive, the Daffodil, which I'm only going to use a little bit of, peach pie and pumpkin pie. I'm going to leave those closed. So taking our blender pen, now this is a two-sided pen and they are the same on both sides. Okay, so when you get yours is going to be brand new. Mine has been used and that's okay. The stain doesn't affect how it is used. So I am going to use some of the yellow ink, and in the center of my blossoms, I'm going to color those yellow with my blender pen. So basically what I am doing is extending my ink pad to be like a marker, if you will. So once I have those 3 yellow dots, that's the only yellow I want, I'm going to clean this by going back and forth gently on a piece of scrap paper until it comes out clear. Once it comes out clear, that means I can use it for a different color. So I'm done with this yellow. I'm going to go to the green and I'm going to work on my leaves. And I want to be careful not to break the tip of that pen, okay? Because then it's not going to color as nicely. And I want to make sure that I get some nice color. You're going to see that I'm just kind of dabbing really quickly to get just a little bit of ink for those stems. And then for this part, I might want to make the lines a little bit heavier. So I'm going to do 1 swipe on all of the lines. And then I'll go back and do the detail after. I just want this to be a little bit darker. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. All right, once I get that done, then I'm going to be coloring all of the leaves, and it's going to get lighter as I go, and that's okay because that's going to make it look like watercolor. And as I get to one of those bigger leaves, I just want to put a little bit more ink so that it goes a little bit further. And then remember, this is a clear ink that's in there, so it can help to get it down the end. And if it's not as dark as you want, then you want to keep going. All right, so you're going to keep continuing with your olive ink to color all of your leaves. Okay, once you have your leaves completely done, then you're going to move on to your oranges. So the pumpkin pie is the darker of the two, and I'm going to use the pumpkin pie where there's all the little dots. That's like the artist marks, and that's where I want the darkest color to be, is where the artist marks are. So hopefully you can see those little dots. It's kind of like the outline of the orange. So I want the darker color. Once I get the darker color on the artist marks, I am going to then switch. I don't have to worry about cleaning my pen as much because I'm still going to be using the same hue, just a different shade. Okay, so then I'm going to use my peach pie to go ahead and color the whole rest of the orange. And again, I can blend as I'd like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue that, and then I'll show you the finished product. All right, when you're done coloring, the final step is going to be to adhere your white piece to the front of your card. And you'll then add the 3 little backed rhinestones that I put into your package. And you're going to notice that no two come out alike. This was my original, and this was the one I just made for you here. So voila, you are done with your final project. Hope you enjoyed.